What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Lightspeed Social Agency YouTube channel. Hey, you are not going to believe what I am about to tell you. So what I have sat down and done over the last little bit here is put together some marketing principles that I think you can steal from one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform. You've certainly been recommended videos. Maybe your kids watch a lot of MrBeast, but there is a reason this guy has managed to become one of the biggest video creators on the internet. And so I have a really quick thing that you can steal from him. It's a very practical, easy to implement strategy. This is one of the most readable fonts you can use in your ad creative. So it's Comica Access. I will put a link down below to where you can find it. They use less text in their thumbnails now across all of the channels because they're working in multiple languages, and YouTube has some beta features that they're trying out where they can swap audio. And so they'll use the same thumbnail across platforms. The headline gets translated, but the thumbnail doesn't. So I think that's why they've used less text in recent videos on thumbnails. But when the focus was English language growth, which if you're watching this video is probably what you're trying to do with your lawn care business, they were using Comica Access. I use it in my thumbnails. I use it in creative for clients. It's so readable at a glance. The letters are just like perfectly formed. That's that slight curve to them. Every letter is so unique. It's incredibly easy to read. So I would use this font for CTAs that you place in your ads, right? Animate it in, pop it in. It draws people's eye. And it just in a way that generic fonts do not, or they're hard to read when they're small or when things are moving, you're scrolling past. It's just Comica Access is a really, really good font. It's a really low to the ground tip to give you, but I think that it will really, really help. And I've seen it help with not only my free content, but with the ads that I've run for clients. It's just such a readable font, really, really good for increasing your conversions, getting some clicks. Okay, before we get into the few bigger ideas that I've got here, make sure that you like this video and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. If this is the kind of practical marketing advice you would love to get more of for your lawn care business, this is what we do here on the Lightspeed Social Agency YouTube channel. Okay, the next thing is a little more nebulous. I've got some practical tips nestled in here, but the big thing is to be loud, be seen, be heard. Think about I'm going to drop the MrBeast logo up here. Look at that contrasting colors, right? Blue and pink are not colors that like traditionally go together. This logo is loud. It's in your face. It captures the spirit of what they're doing on the channel and in all of the other places where they're doing business. It's eye-catching. So the big thing here, like the first takeaway is pretty literal. It's to make sure that your colors, your logo, your truck wrap, your uniforms are loud, that they make you seen and heard in the marketplace. You know, be hot pink. I've seen companies that use hot pink as their color, use a bright blue, day glow orange, electric lemon yellow. Don't be just another green landscaping company that blends into the crowd, right? We want people, when they see your employees, they know that they work for your lawn care and landscaping company. There's no confusion that this could be some other company in the market. You are unique and stand out. And the spectacles of MrBeast videos is not necessarily something you can replicate, right? You can't go give $1 million away. But the more general idea you can take from there is that you can capture people's attention in non-traditional ways, right? You can be seen in the marketplace in a way that your competitors may not be. My friend Garrett Matthews in Louisiana has a pizza trailer that he takes out for local events. He puts on movie nights. He has a projector that blows, it's a projector and then a screen that blows up, so that they can do pizza and movie nights for neighborhoods. And that helps them get density, right? They're being seen by a neighborhood they want to work in. They're setting up in the park in that neighborhood. So that is an outside the box way to do some marketing and some brand building, right? This is more than just transactional, normal marketing where it's like, I put in $1 and I get out $2. It's a little bit less easy to attribute the value of goodwill in the marketplace, but it is really good for you. And a lot of guys will hear that and kind of cynically take it as, oh, what would it do for me if, I put on a movie night, people like me, like that isn't dollars in my pocket, but it is, right? Like customers who come out to that are then going to say like, oh, I use, they treat my lawn, they do my weed control and fertilization to other people who are there. It's going to help you in the neighborhood. And you have to get away from this really, I called it transactional marketing. Think about marketing as a relationship. This kind of gets back to one of the core building blocks. And this is what, Jimmy and the guys have done over on the channel, is they invite you in. You're part of the crew. You're part of all of the craziness. And doing that with customers is how you move from transactional marketing to something a little more relational, right? You hear sometimes people describe like trying to find a significant other, playing the dating field. They'll describe it as like a numbers game. You just got to go to the bar and you got to ask every girl for her number, and a certain number of them are going to say yes, right? And maybe that's what you're doing right now in the marketing for your business, is a really numbers focused. I'm just going to get in front of the maximum number of people possible and beg each of them for their phone number. And a certain number of them are going to do business with me. But that's not how we usually get into relationships, right? That's not how most of your close friendships have been formed. If you're dating or married, that's probably not how your relationship with your significant other started, right? It probably started a little more like even if you met them when they were a total stranger to you, well, I guess that's how you meet everyone. But even if you initiated contact with them when they were a stranger, you were like, hey, I'm Cody. Seems like we like the same kind of music. We're here at this thing. You start talking that way or whatever. Things build gradually. You didn't walk up to the person you're married to today and say, hey, do you want to get married? That's a really weird way to initiate that relationship. You would start it in a little more normal way, like, hey, do you want to get coffee sometime? And when you have people seeing you consistently in the market, they're seeing yard signs, they're seeing trucks wrapped that are in their neighborhood, they're seeing guys working in uniforms with your logo on them. All of those are those steady little coffee dates that start things off. They're seeing you in the places they hang out, and then you're initiating something else. And you can add an in-between step to just kind of ease them into a relationship with you, where you're doing this event in their neighborhood and they come out to it, or you sponsor a little league team that's very local, right? Pick the one that is closest to your service area. Think outside the box of normal marketing. Go for a little bit of spectacle if you can. If you're bigger and you have some more money to work with in your marketing, you can, don't neglect your Google ads and your Facebook ads. Those are all valuable tools to be using. But think about some of these in-between touches that you could be getting. And if your truck's not wrapped, that's where I'd start. I'd start with making it where, I can't tell you how many lawn care guys have told me that they have one truck in the field. And when they get it wrapped, they start hearing from friends, family, customers, man, I just see your trucks all over the place. And it's because they remember seeing it now. Because it's wrapped, it's not just another GMC Sierra on the road that looks exactly the same as all the other ones. There's only one truck, but they feel like you're everywhere. That's super valuable to create for yourself in the marketplace. So you may not be able to get the total scope of the spectacle, but use that general idea. Look for opportunities to stand out in your market. Okay. That brings me to giveaways. And obviously, don't give away the farm. Don't go totally crazy with how you do giveaways, but they can be super, super valuable for your business. The key way that I would take this philosophy of giving things away to people is having that built into your referral system. Having a system that is a customer does X for you. They bring a customer in the door. They refer their neighbor signs up, you give them a $20 gift card, you give them a $50 gift card. Then, once you have that system in place, that's very simple, very easy to understand for you, and so easy to execute on and follow through, but also easy for the customer to understand. They don't have to think about, if I refer in, then in 3 visits, I won't have to pay for my lawn to be cut. Like, that's complicated. It's messy. You're going to forget to do it because it's going to be hard to build an automation that handles that for you. And if all you have to do is log into Amazon and send a gift card, or your office manager logs into Amazon and sends a gift card, that's dead simple. That's going to result in fewer mistakes being made if the process is simple. So think about that as a process, but also giveaways are a great way to build your company culture. Right? Employees love getting a free thing. Even if you pay really well and you take care of your guys, it's going to help the business if every now and then you show a little extra appreciation, right? Everybody loves to be appreciated. You love to be appreciated as a boss or a manager of employees. They love to be appreciated as employees. And that, It's going above and beyond, right? You are legally obligated to pay your employees for their time, right? But I don't know about you. The best relationships in my life are not the ones that are executed on a strictly legal requirement basis, right? When I am diminished in a relationship to being treated at what is legally required, what someone's obligated to do for me, that's not someone I'm going to have as good a relationship with as someone who occasionally buys me a cup of coffee, or I buy them a cup of coffee. But in the boss-employee relationship, it usually needs to move, the opposite direction. You might have employees that you're really good friends with who bring you a Red Bull in the morning or whatever. But think about how you can be the kind of person that you want to work with and do that in the business. And it's going to trickle down and have an effect on the employees and the way they treat each other, right? And it's going to give them some feelings of connectedness to the business, to you as the owner, and to each other, right? They're going to start doing these things for each other. So think about ways that you can implement giveaways or bonuses into the business. I would be careful about turning it into a carrot stick situation that feels kind of rat racy. If you're already doing a pay for performance thing, I wouldn't necessarily think about giveaways as a tie into that. Although Martha would tell you probably something completely different there. My friend Martha Woodward, who I've interviewed on the podcast. I would say at first, think about this as a thing you can do that is spontaneous and fun and, bringing in coffee for everyone one morning. Hey, everybody, send me your Starbucks order. I'm going to buy coffee for the crew. And you could even cycle through crews and do it where this week I'm going to work on crew A. If you have 4 crews, 4 in a month, whatever that looks like for you, kind of build a system around it where you're just routinely making people feel like they matter, like what they're doing is being seen. And I know that this sounds really touchy-feely, but if you want to have a place that you don't hate coming to every day, and that your employees don't hate coming to every day, you're going to have to invest a little bit in some touchy-feely. And that may not be a thing that motivates you, but it is a thing that motivates a lot of people. So it's worth considering whether, and maybe your guys don't like it and they won't appreciate it and you can move on from it. But I would give it a good college try and see how it works out for you. Hey, so that is kind of the bulk of what I wanted to talk about here. That's 3 quick ways that you can apply some beast marketing tactics to your business. And if you want to really get after your marketing and see explosive growth, even in the fall ahead of the spring, talk to us here at Lightspeed Social Agency. There is a link in the description where you can talk to me personally about your marketing efforts and whether it makes sense to work with an agency like Lightspeed to see some growth and how we can apply these principles and even more to your lawn care landscaping business. Make sure you are subscribed, liked the video if you haven't already, and I will see you next week.